Connor Shaw. Who?
Do you want that as your lock of the week?
Dylan Gabriel's not the guy. He's a 5'10", 5'11" left-handed quarterback. The odds are stacked against him. All right, Dog. Welcome in the 75th Bet This.
We're getting closer.
I know.
We got a big, by the way, we got a big thing going on when we get to 100. We can't talk about it now. As we get closer, we're going to start to give you little hints of what's going to be going on for the 100th edition of Bet This, which is going to happen during NFL football season, which I know you're super excited about.
Very, of course.
Once we get there, I'll be excited about it.
Yes.
But we got football last week, and you know what? Every time I kept betting against the Louisville Kings, they're like, no, Jay Dawg, we're going to show you a thing or two about a thing or two. And sure enough, the United Bowl goes to the first year Louisville Kings.
Yes, the Louisville Kings took down the DC Defenders last weekend.
Heavily favored DC Defenders.
The Defenders were heavily favored, even though they were same record as Louisville going into it. It was kind of a draw, but still, like you said, I think DC was favored
because of their reputation.
Yeah,
because they're a team that people know in the UFL. They were an XFL holdover.
They kind of got like a little like
USFL.
They got like a little like not home favoritism, but almost
they
like
did. No, because
you know what I mean, like because they're
yeah.
already like they've been in the league before. You
Correct.
know?
Whereas
so
the Louisville Kings, this is a brand new world.
They're
for them.
creating their own like fan base. Still.
They are.
Yeah.
Same with the Columbus. Have you seen the Columbus? You know what the Columbus Aviators mascot?
No, I haven't seen the mascot.
He's like a Top Gun kind of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'll show you at some point. It's actually pretty. I want to meet the Aviators.
So now that the UFL season's over, the United Bowl is over. J Dawg, what is your first thoughts going back, looking at the season? You know, like, do you think this was a successful season for the UFL?
I do think it was a successful season because we had new teams. You know, Orlando, who had been in the XFL when they were the Guardians.
Yep.
Then they moved to Cleveland. No, I'm just kidding. No. That's something totally different. We'll talk about the Cleveland Guardians later and other baseball teams, of course. Anyway, we had new team, the Columbus Aviators. We had new teams, new colors, everything like that. It was a new, not a reckoning, but a new look to the UFL.
I like the change to rules and like just the experimenting. Not that all of them are, again, not that everything's going to be perfect, but I'd rather see experimentation go on in a lower level league.
Yes.
Something like the UFL, just like the way baseball handles it, where they test things in the minors first before it gets to the majors, you know, the ABS and things like that.
Pitch clock has been absolutely, remember when that came out, people were like, oh, this is going to ruin baseball.
And it's like, it
has it.
These games need to always be updating, always trying to improve. Like if you're the commissioner of a league, you're never just like, yeah, we're good. Let's just keep it the way things are.
Yeah. Can you imagine Gary?
You know what I mean? Like
Gary Bettman's like been the commissioner. He's the only commissioner the NHL's ever had. They've had presidents before then, right? Mm-hmm. He's been there since 1993. Can you imagine what the NHL has been in 1993
to now? Yeah, exactly.
There'd be no team in Utah. There'd be no team in Colorado.
Vegas.
There'd be definitely no team in Vegas.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's just like the sports always have to be updating and growing and aging with the times. Essentially, they need to
progress with the times.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And
our government seems to disagree.
So I like the experimentation of the new rules and the new things in the UFL, but I don't necessarily know that all of them need to stay. You know, I don't know if we need to keep every rule, but I like the experimentation. I like seeing what we can change. And again, if
the NFL's just going to steal it,
I was going to say if they're going to link up with the NFL and become,
they're not going to link up with the NFL.
They need to be a farm system.
They're not going to. The owner's been dead set on the guy because he was on Pat McAfee not too long ago. He said, no, this is something totally different from the NFL. The problem with that is you're fighting, right? You know,
he's fighting like
he's fighting the biggest elephant that is in the room. That's humanly
David
possible.
And Goliath,
it truly is.
Except you're not going to be able to take down Goliath.
You're not. The UFL is that little engine that could. The NFL is, as I said, the elephant with the tusks. That just have those sharp tusks. And it's just going to go like this. And if you're in their way, you're going to get impaled, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, so enough football talk. We'll get back to football coming up, Bet Heads. We'll allude next week. We're going to have a special edition of Bet This.
And then, by the way, the title of you're going to love this. The title of next week's Bet This, because this week's edition is KNICK'D and CANED. Gee, I wonder what we'll be talking about with them. Next week will be Think About the Future. Because you saw the 1989 Batman movie, right?
No,
Okay.
or maybe I have.
With
maybe.
Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like one of the only times Batman kills the Joker, right?
Well, I think the Joker kind of has his own demise.
Okay.
Batman kind of plays a part in it, but not really. Whereas, okay, when the Joker's about to shoot Eckhart, he goes, Eckhart, think about the future, and then shoots him dead. So that's where we're going to think about the future. We're going to be talking about futures in the WNBA, in Major League Baseball, in the NFL, and in the NBA, because
NHL as well.
NHL, next week is the NBA draft, and there's a lot of drama and intrigue, Siege. We may or may not know who the number one pick is going to be by the Washington Wizards. Are they going to pick number one? Are they going to trade the pick?
And it's
is it going to be AJ DeBanton?
We'll have to talk about things too, like Trae Young. Trae
Young opted out.
Yeah, so they don't have him anymore. Not that I think they expected to really be able to keep him around. Like, we got the number one pick. Like,
we got the number one pick.
I don't think
we've got Trae Young.
It still wasn't enough for Trae.
It wasn't. Trae's like, I'm ahead on out.
Yeah, so we'll talk about all that next week. We're going to have a lot to discuss, but we've got a lot to discuss this week. We're going to go over the U.S. Open going on. Going to have a special guest later on in this edition of Bet This. We're going to go over the World Cup, what's going on there. Our typical MLB slate will break down. We'll have WNBA, go over the Commissioner's Cup.
We've got the Commissioner's Cup finalized. That's pretty much our last time talking about that cup, because we still have the other cup going on, the World Cup, until late July. I almost said mid-July. No, late July. And we're going to talk a little bit about the World Cup as well, Siege. But the Commissioner's Cup, we're also going to have the WNBA rankings, and we're also going to have the MLB rankings. And we have a team we're going to be betting against. It took us a few months. It's not the team you think around here. It's going to be a team about, give or take 3,000 miles across the country. We'll leave it at that.
Heard that. So where do you want to kick off the edition of Bet This today, Jay Dawg? Where do you want to start?
We'll start with World Cup.
World Cup?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. So anything stood out to you so far with the World Cup? Any matches that you've caught so far or anything like that? I know the Spain, what was it, Cape Verde?
They've been the talk of the World Cup.
That was the biggest match so far.
The Scots have been talked about in the Boston area. An Irish city like Boston, and I've said this a bunch of times on other radio shows. There's only one show here, though. Bet This.
Yes.
The Scots have invaded an Irish city like Boston, and they've taken to it.
And it honestly, Bostonians are
loving
it.
The Tartan Army.
Yeah.
If this was 100 years ago, hell to the no.
Yes.
Remember, I'm half Irish, and I'm loving every minute of this.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
They had
a Scottish guy trying out pizza for the first time, Boston-style pizza, and loving it. I thought that was great.
They had the Bostonians singing the Proclaimers at Fenway.
Yes, I'm going to be, because again, let me do the Scottish thing. The Proclaimers, they're from Scotland, so they sang "I Would Walk."
When I wake up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what movie that's from, or no?
No.
Benny and June. It was a Johnny Depp, Mary Stuart Masterson movie back in the early to mid 1990s, and Julianne Moore was in the movie. It was recorded before she became a big superstar. And I believe William H. Macy's in that movie, who I share a birthday with, by the way, March 13th. But that movie came out in 93. The song came out in the 80s. It didn't do well. And then they included it onto the soundtrack of Benny and June, and it was a massive hit for them. And it's played in ballparks, it's played in stadiums, it's played in Scotland all the time, because the Proclaimers are from Scotland. Never did anything after that in the States, though.
No.
They are a great one-hit wonder, but fantastic song. Love that song. I got to sing it to a girl, because I love walking, and I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500. I got my romance theme right there. Thank you, Proclaimers, but they're taking it. Also, Siege, Algeria was taking Kansas by storm.
Really?
Unintended. Yes, because Kansas City has the number one ratings in Missouri, right? Because they have the World Cup. They had Messi in Argentina, right? Highest ratings in the entire country belong to Kansas City. The Argentinians are taking to Kansas City, like barbecue and everything like that. The Algerians were training in Kansas. They're taking to Kansas. So it's like fish out of water.
It is very interesting to see
all
these
cultures just kind of blending and melting and meshing. I love that. And again, who would have thought the Scots would go into an Irish city like Boston and take it over in a positive way.
Yes.
Not pillage, but village.
Jay Dawg, real quick before we wrap up the segment, I'm going to give you some of the World Cup games that you can catch, or World Cup matches, that you can catch
on Saturday.
This weekend,
Okay,
Saturday
yeah,
and
yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Germany hosting Ivory Coast on Saturday. That sound interesting to you?
It does. Ivory Coast, don't count them out.
Okay, they're plus 450.
Okay.
That's not too far.
No, it's not.
For odds.
I think Germany will win.
Yes.
But they could make it very exciting because Senegal gave France towards the end all they could have before Mbappe said, no, we're done here. Goal. You know what? Goal.
Don't count out these smaller teams in this World Cup because it feels like the big teams are kind of over their skis a little.
They want to see what they're doing in the third round. Well, you got to get past the first to get there.
All right, so Germany, Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is a good sleeper there. Ecuador, Curacao.
Ecuador, that's going to be a
blowout.
blowout.
Japan at Tunisia. This is Sunday.
Just facing.
Facing.
Japan versus Tunisia.
Japan's the favorite.
I think Tunisia will play better, but I think ultimately Japan will win.
Spain versus Saudi Arabia. Spain's the favorite there, although they've already had a big upset against them. Belgium versus Iran. Belgium's the favorite there. Uruguay versus Cape Verde. Cape Verde is plus 700. I mean, they held their own against Spain. New Zealand versus Egypt. Egypt's the favorite, and that wraps it up for your weekend World Cup. Let's get into some basketball discussion. All right, Jay Dawg. Let's get to the title of this edition of Bet This. KNICK'D and CANED. Let's talk about the big championships that just wrapped up. I predicted the NHL Stanley Cup final.
How much you win?
Nothing, because I didn't put anything down on it. I didn't double down on
How much you would have?
Probably
$10.
I forget what the odds were. I think it was like plus, I want to say like plus 250 or plus 300. So it would have been about like $10 would have gotten you like $25, $30, which not bad.
Yeah.
So, always bet this, of course, bet heads. But the Hurricanes did it in 6, took down the Vegas Knights after Vegas looked good.
The Vegas Golden Knights had the big upset in game 1, and we're like, here we go. Torts is working his magic again.
And then game 3, that double overtime, after Carolina climbed back and looked like they were going to.
I cursed Vegas. I cursed them because, when I was going to get my workout in, right, late at night, I'm thinking I'm going to be seeing a 3rd, 4th, 5th over to whatever. I can watch, listen to my 70s playlist. I do that on 7. I'm an 80s child, but I listen to 70s on Sunday. So I do soundtracks Saturday and 70s Sunday, sometimes 60s, but 70s Sunday when I'm working out, right? And I get on the treadmill, listen to Sex Machine, get on up. I'm thinking 3, 4, 5 overtimes. I get there, the game's already over. I'm like,
dang,
that would have been something. That would have been something.
But it was an incredible series nonetheless. Congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes.
First one in 20 years. And by the way, folks, on Monday on Sunday at noon on the Playback on the Pulse Podcast Network, we will be doing Game 7 of the 2006 Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers at the Carolina Hurricanes.
Exciting.
Yeah, it'll be on Father's Day at noon.
I'm going to be tuning in.
Just after that, I'll be going to see Toy Story 5 in theaters.
Oh.
I've never been to a Toy Story movie in theaters for whatever reason. Couldn't afford it. Didn't have time. This, that, and the other. That changes this weekend on Father's Day weekend.
Let's go. So I'll be tuning into the Playback. Make sure you as well, bet heads.
Noon on the Playback under the Bet This umbrella on the Pulse Podcast Network.
And after the NHL finals or the Stanley Cup final, the NBA finals wrapped up as well. The New York Knicks.
You're never going to hear the end of it.
No.
The next 1,000 years, we're never going to hear the end of it. You say 100, I'm going to hear it for the next 1,000 years.
I'm so upset. The New York Knicks win the NBA finals. They win in 6 or 5? 5, yeah.
Because the San Antonio Spurs decided to blow leads every game.
Every game. And I have to ask you this too, real quick.
Yeah.
How do you think Wemby handled the presser in the NBA finals and the loss? Like, I feel like I was just not impressed with the way he handled losing.
He's turned into a villain really quickly.
Yeah.
I want him to kind of change course on that next year. He turned into the villain towards the end of the OKC series in the conference finals, and then he really turned into the villain during the NBA finals.
Well, the way he manhandled Brunson all series, throwing him to the ground and things like that. It's like, what are you doing? Like, play ball.
If his name was not Wemby, he would have gotten suspended for at least 2 games.
Big time. Even the elbow at the OKC series, I thought, deserved more of a penalty than was given. But I did have a statistic I found I wanted to share with you. And this is important to the bet heads. Online sports books. This is from David Purdom of ESPN, the four-letter network, excuse me. Online sports books in New York suffered a $48.5 million loss for the week ending June 14, a week that included the New York Knicks run on the NBA title. So online sports books lost $48.5 million because of New York fans betting on the Knicks. I'm assuming for futures way before time, way ahead of time.
That will do it.
And the odds at the beginning of the season must have been incredible.
Yeah.
So a fun little statistic there. But moving from the NBA Finals to the NBA Draft as we look forward to next season. I know we're going to be doing futures next week.
Is it Tuesday or Wednesday next week? I want to say it's Tuesday.
You'll have to double check it for me.
Okay.
But the NBA Draft coming up, the odds are out, Jay Dawg.
Okay.
If you're interested in hearing some NBA draft odds.
Which it is subject to change because, this is Saturday. Could change on Father's Day. Could change on Monday. Teams are always talking.
Before I give you the odds, are there any players that you're very interested in seeing coming out of this draft? Anyone like in particular or no?
Just what's supposed to be the number 1 pick, which could be.
So the number 1 pick favorite is AJ. I'm gonna butcher this. Dibenza.
It's Dibenza. Yeah.
Dibenza.
Yeah.
He's minus 450 to be your number 1 pick.
Okay.
For the number 2 pick, he would be plus 450. So pretty good odds that he's going to be your number 1 overall guy. The number 2 for your number 1 favorite is Darren Peterson. He's plus 340. And then after that, Cameron Boozer plus 2,200. That's the guy I'm excited to see, just because I know Cameron Boozer played incredible in college
at Duke,
and he's got the genetics. It's in his genes. His dad is Carlos Boozer.
Yeah,
like he's got it proven in his family, and that's something that I think can't be overlooked, or overshadowed. Is families and players that come from athletic families tend to be more athletic than players that aren't. And on top of that, Cameron Boozer knows what it's like to be in the league already. That's something that players can't, like, he hasn't played in the league, but he grew up around it in the locker room. And that's
who has the 3rd pick, right?
Who?
The Utah Jazz. His dad played for the Utah Jazz.
Oh yeah, it's over. That's probably the one I would really lean into. Cameron Boozer's minus 140 to be the number 3 pick. If you put down $10, it pays out $17. If I put down $20, you get $34. That's a lock to me. That's going to be my lock of the week.
Tuesday and Wednesday will be the NBA draft.
You hear that, Jay Dawg?
Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Lock of the week.
Go ahead.
Cameron Boozer for the number 3 pick.
Okay.
I'm going to take
Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I'm going to take it.
They're not going to change that pick.
No, I'm putting it down right now. $10 pays out $17. I'm putting down the money right now, Jay Dawg.
Okay.
Mark my words. There, it's done. And you'll see it on our socials, bet heads.
Yep.
Now, Jay Dawg, moving forward, number 4, Caleb Wilson is minus 475 to be the 4th overall pick. So he's pretty much it's AJ, Darren, Cameron Boozer, and then Caleb Wilson. And then after that, it starts to get a little muddy because for the number 5 pick, the top favorite is Mikael Brown Jr. He's plus 200. So after it's a plus 200 is a bet I would still make. But after plus 200, it becomes when you're in plus money, it's not a guarantee anymore.
No.
So I like the Caleb Wilson, the Cameron Boozer pick. Everyone above like 4 and above. You could honestly, I wonder if you could parlay while we're here. I'm going to just see. It doesn't let you parlay. Never mind. I was going to see if you could parlay like your picks, but you can't.
You've got your lock of the week, though, which is good. So that's your lock of the week. My lock of the week, by the way, we're going to talk about during the lightning round is going to be NASCAR.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We're going to get to that. And I've got some updated standings, results from last week. And we're going to talk about the upcoming race.
I can tell you who I'm not going to parlay, though.
Who?
Jose Ramirez, who has a bad hammock bone right now. Just had surgery on it, and he's going to be out until possibly August.
J Dawg's done parlaying Jose, so we'll have to see what he does. J Dawg, let's go through our WNBA slate for the week, and then we'll get into the power rankings.
Yep, the Commissioner's Cup is set, by the way, in late June. I think June 30th. It is the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces, because you need one from the Eastern Conference and one from the Western Conference, the champs. The Las Vegas Aces taking on the team that won the year before that, the New York Liberty.
Well, they're going to be
Commissioner's Cup.
They're going to be facing each other Tuesday. We'll get to it on the slate coming up. For Sunday,
Father's Day.
Excuse me, not Sunday, Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Today, after Bet This, we're going to have Seattle at Phoenix kicking off our WNBA slate.
Seattle is the worst team in the Western Conference, so I'm going to take Phoenix.
Okay, Phoenix
isn't all that much better, though.
Chicago at Dallas.
I will take the Dallas Wings.
Or that Sunday, Father's Day, Golden State at Vegas.
Ooh, I'll take Vegas.
Heard that. Washington at Minnesota.
I'll take. Oh, that's a good matchup too. Washington, is it in Minnesota or is it in Washington?
Minnesota.
I'll take Minnesota. Okay.
Heard that. Liberty at Los Angeles at the Sparks.
I'll take the Liberty.
Heard that. Monday, Chicago at Connecticut.
I'll take the Chicago Sky because the Sun are the worst team. In the
Tempo at Dream.
Ooh, I'll take the Dream.
Heard that. Phoenix at Indiana.
I'll take Indiana.
Dallas at Seattle.
I'll take Dallas.
And then Tuesday, the one matchup Tuesday, New York at Vegas, a little preview of the Commissioner's Cup.
New York, Vegas.
In Vegas.
I'll take New York.
Okay.
So I'll take New York.
All right, J Dawg. Those are our WNBA matches, our games.
Games, yeah. He's getting World Cup matches mixed up with Commissioner's Cup games. But there are cups. So our cups are still runneth over, but we're getting closer to the cups getting empty.
So now that we have gone through our WNBA slate, why don't you hit us with the WNBA power rankings? Okay. And then we'll go through our MLB power rankings before we get to baseball later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, at number 10, the LA Sparks. Hi, Kelsey Plum Arsenal. Hi. At number 9, the Fire. That would be, of course, the Portland Fire expansion. At number 8, another expansion team, the Toronto Tempo. Number 7, the Dallas Wings. At number 6, the Indiana Fever. At number 5, we go from a fever to a dream. Not a dream fever. We got the Atlanta Dream. At number 4, the Golden State Valkyries. At number 3, the Las Vegas Aces, the champs. They're in the Commissioner Cup final, taking on the New York Liberty, who are the number 2 team. And then at number 1, the Minnesota Lynx are still at the top spot.
Yeah, no surprise there, of course.
No.
And let's keep it rolling. How about them MLB power rankings? What you know about them MLB power rankings?
I do. I've got them right here, right in my hand right now. At number 10, the San Diego Padres. At number 9, the St. Louis Cardinals. At number 8, the Cleveland Guardians, who as of late have been slumping. So you got Guards, and then the Philadelphia Phillies at number 7. At number 6, the Tampa Bay Rays. They've been kind of slumping as of late, too.
Yes.
They don't have first place. At number 5, the Chicago White Sox, who have moved up.
Well, you always,
out of nowhere,
always talk about the pitching, but Grant Taylor, their closer, one of their relievers, he's amazing.
He is, yep. At number 4, the Milwaukee Brewers. At number 3, the New York Yankees. At number 2, the Atlanta Braves. And at number 1.
A new number 1.
A new number 1. They've been here before. They're going to be here again. They're not going anywhere. Well, I hope they're really not going anywhere come October. The reigning, defending, two-time World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, that is disappointing for J Dawg, but that does it for power rankings. We're going to go over baseball during the lightning round, but we're going to take a breather here. J Dawg's going to step out. We're going to bring in a special guest and talk golf.
Whoa, doctor.
Yes. Welcome, bet heads. Welcome in to our special guest. It's the Doctor of Rock. You know him, you love him. Welcome in, Doc.
Thanks for having me, CJ. Appreciate it.
Of course, always love you on the show. And because you're here, that means it's another major.
That's right. Major season, right?
Yes.
The third and fourth. So we have the U.S. Open this weekend. Father's Day weekend.
I know, very exciting. How do you feel about the tournament going into it? Any expectations or anyone you're thinking about?
The thing I just like about the U.S. Open is that it's the one tournament where they can humble the golfers. In other words, They're not going to win by 20. There's no minus 20s at these courses. I mean, Shinnecock in New York, beautiful course, but it's got the bay on one side, got the ocean on the other, Long Island. So you got different winds all the time. The course is set up beautifully, but with every U.S. Open, it's always, I call the cabbage, but the rough is where you basically get penalized if you can't keep the ball in the fairway.
It's funny. I saw, I can't remember exactly what golfer it is, but I saw a golfer earlier was penalized for throwing his club.
I think that was Joakim Noah. Yeah, one of the first person ever to be get charged with that.
Yeah, it's very
for mistreating his club.
Very wild, but it sounded like the cabbage got to him. Yep. So, very exciting tournament. Of course, the majors always are. Going into it, I had high expectations for Koepka, but then he had the wrist injury, right leading into the week, and you and I talked about that off air. Scotty had a slow start. Even with all that going on, Rory, one of the top guys that we missed out on the last major, but Rory looked incredible. And after I left work on day one, thinking Rory's in second, 4 or 5 more guys took off after that. And so the field looks incredible right now.
Well, that's good. What happened is on Thursday in the afternoon, it kind of settled down. The winds kind of died down. So Wyndham Clark, who was my pick, by the way, my sneak pick. I'm not saying this after the fact. I actually told a coworker of ours when she asked me who the dark horse was, because he'd been playing probably as solid a golf, tee to green as anybody coming into it, but kind of under the radar. He got lucky on Thursday afternoon that the wind died down and he got to jump out to -6. And as we go on to taper, I think he's -7. So I think the scores are going to probably come back down over the weekend. The wind's going to pick up, but it's nice to see these guys where it's a kind of course where they get put in positions because of the wind, where they have shots they're not used to hitting. Like these guys, like they hit to certain areas because they have that next shot already ahead. Well, this time, a lot of times with this course, with the way the greens are undulating and the winds, they get in positions where they're not normally used to hitting out of. So it makes it a little more important for the creativity and how they can handle adversity like that. And that's why I like a guy like, Matt Fitzpatrick is another guy I kind of like, because he's a grinder. You need grinders on a U.S. Open.
It's fun. It sounds fun. Like this is a course that's fun for fans to watch because you're going to see shots like you're just saying that,
like we make.
Right, exactly.
Hackers on the weekend. They're going to miss greens. They're going to miss putts.
I want to see how they handle it, how these pros handle it, and how their consistency can step up and tackle that. So Wyndham Clark, like we said, currently is leading the pack there. One of your sleeper dark horses.
He got lucky that he jumped out with he got that -6.
Right, he caught it at a good time.
Exactly, and it's all about that. So
I'm one of my guys. I'm leaning into the guy I was leaning into before the tournament, Xander Schauffele.
Yep.
I know Koepka I said was going to be my guy, but Xander, he's been so good lately.
Another grinder, man. That's he's built for this course.
Like the last couple tournaments, the last couple majors, he's been right up there. I feel like he's due, and he's in third, I think, currently. So he's sitting right at the top of the pack. He's going to be competitive. Another one, Rory, obviously. When we talked about this yesterday off air, but dude is just got the monkey off his back and just playing incredible.
He's fire. And the other problem is Scotty Scheffler, just off.
Yeah.
He's not, he's still great, but he's just not quite where he was. And that's the difference in these guys. He's just not quite hitting his irons the way he was. He's not, dead center. Like we always say, my joke when we try. Wilt Chamberlain, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Hit the club, hit the ball dead center.
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain. But he's just not, he's off. And again, with these fairways in the cabbage, you're going to get in trouble. And that's where these guys are finding. And Scotty's definitely just off. His name is just off.
Last thoughts on the U.S. Open before we bring Jay Dawg back into the studio. Give me your team. Give me your number one team for the weekend.
I think, I like I said, Rory, you can't, I don't think you can not pick Rory. He seems like he's the Tiger player right now.
Right.
Rory, I told Wyndham Clark was my favorite going in it to win. I like Schauffele would be a third pick of mine. I think the other two would be Matt Fitzpatrick. And I stayed away from him, but I love his consistency. So I did go with Colin Morikawa this time.
Oh, okay.
Bad back and all, because this is his kind of tournament.
I think I would pick the same team as you, but I might take Cameron Young instead of Morikawa. I like Cameron Young, another guy that's been up there, or maybe Adberg. Adberg's also been very competitive lately. But I'm same team as you. I think those guys are right in the top of the pack, and they're going to be the guys that are going to be wrangling and leading the rest of the groups.
Like I said, look for grinders for the U.S. Open. Because you got to be able to maintain, you got to be able to bounce back, and you got to be creative and be prepared to hit shots you're not used to hitting. Which
for sure.
That's great. And they look like regular golfers sometimes.
For sure. All right, we're getting ready to bring Jay Dawg back in. Make sure you stick around, and don't forget, bet heads, if you're going to bet.
Bet this.
All right, dog. It is almost time for my favorite segment every single week. But before we get there, of course, we always have to go over some housekeeping, clean up some things, and let the bet heads know what they can catch on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Saturday night, which will be tonight, it is the game 2 of the 3-game series. The Boston Red Sox at the Seattle Mariners, 9:10 pregame, 10:10 first pitch. And then on Sunday, a 3:10 pregame, 4:10 first pitch before the Sox head out to the Rocky Mountains to face the Colorado Rockies in a rematch of the 2007 World Series.
Probably the last time both of those teams were good at all. Around 2007.
No.
Even though the Red Sox have won a World Series since then.
They've won 2 since then.
Frustrating. It just feels like they're incredibly awful.
Especially at home.
Anything going on with the playback? I know you said Sunday.
Yes, Monday, Game 7, 2025 NBA Finals, last year's NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers at the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that we thought was going to be this year's NBA Finals, or predicted in that mix for sure. And the Indiana Pacers, they weren't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be the team that won it all this year, or be in the NBA Finals this year, the New York Knicks. But that's what it was last year, and that's our last NBA game of this season. So,
Real quick.
yeah.
Do you think if the Knicks made it last year, they could have won the finals?
No.
You
Nope.
don't think so?
Nope. OKC.
It was OKC still all the way.
And I think OKC.
Do you think if OKC made it this year, they would have
Yep.
beat the Knicks? Okay.
Absolutely do.
Very interesting.
Yep.
It's always funny how the butterfly effect works.
It
But,
does.
J Dawg,
Yes.
it is time for
What time? What time is it?
I changed it up a little bit this week. Had to mix it up. Didn't want to get too vocal, but had to. I'll still throw on some good effects so it sounds real good.
Okay.
I got you. It's the lightning round. Welcome in. It is time for J Dawg to rip through some picks. We're going to go through baseball. We've got NASCAR. J Dawg is going to lay out his lock of the week when we get there. And then if we have some time left over, I'll cover UFC Freedom 250, how that went down, and look on the horizon for some UFC fights you can catch. J Dawg, let's rip through the baseball picks. First, we've got our Saturday slate kicking off with the Texas Rangers hosting the San Diego Padres. Who are you taking in that
I'll
one?
take the San Diego Padres.
Padres on the road. The Brew Crew taking on the Braves. J Dawg's obviously taking Milwaukee, never taking the Braves. We've got the San Francisco Giants on the road in Miami, going all the way across the country. Who are you taking?
Miami.
Miami, heard that. San Francisco's also bad.
They're
Washington,
starting to hit, but again,
they're in a tough division too. I mean, not that they're the worst team in the West, but NL
not
West
much
is,
better than the Rockies.
Yeah, NL West
That's
is tough.
saying something.
Washington at Tampa. I like this matchup here. Tampa's been skidding, and Washington is one of those teams that
They've got a winning record now.
yeah, they're one of
The
those teams
Nationals
that
are
like
sneaky.
yeah, they're sneaky good. They play up to their
Yeah,
opponent.
I'm going to take the Rays in this one.
Okay. Rays hosting the Nationals there. We've got the Mets at the Phillies. This is a good NL East matchup.
That's
You're taking the Mets?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
Okay.
Juan Soto is going to have a good weekend.
Guards at the Stros.
Guardians.
Heard that.
Yep.
The Buccos at the Rockies.
I will take the Buccos.
Heard that. Bet against the Angels.
That's what it is. Bet against the Angels. We bet against the Rockies last year. Batter. Now we're Bata. We're going to bet against the Los Angeles Angels. And who are they taking on?
They're taking on the A's of Nowhere.
Okay, I will take the A's of Nowhere.
All right. We've got the Red Sox at the Mariners.
I'll take the M's.
Heard that. I'm taking the Sox. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm taking the Mariners. The Sox are, I'm so fed up with them.
Okay.
Orioles at the Dodgers.
The O's.
Heard
Rematch
that.
of the 1966 World Series, won by the O's.
Twins at the D-backs.
Twins.
Heard that. And then ripping through Sunday, Reds at Yanks.
Reds.
Brews at Braves.
Brew Crew.
We've got White Sox at Detroit.
I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers.
Okay. Giants at Miami.
Giants.
Nats at Tampa.
I will take the Nationals.
Heard that. Guards at Stros.
Guardians.
Cards at Royals.
Cards.
Blue Jays at the Cubbies.
Cubbies.
We've got Padres at Rangers.
I will take the San Diego Padres.
Buccos at Rockies.
Take the Rockies in that one.
Okay. Diamondbacks hosting the Twins.
I'll take the D-backs.
We've got the A's of Nowhere. We're taking against the Angels. The Dodgers hosting the Orioles.
I'll take the O's.
Mariners hosting the Red Sox.
M's.
We've got the Phillies hosting the Mets.
I'll take the Phillies in that one.
Or that. And then just a little preview for Monday. Yankees at Detroit on the road.
That's a
You
good
got
one.
Tampa hosting Kansas City. Rangers at Miami. Another NL East matchup with the Phillies taking on Washington. Stros at Blue Jays. Cubbies at Mets. The Guardians taking on the White Sox. That should be a good matchup.
First place on the line, essentially, in Chicago on the south side.
We'll breeze through a couple more of these. Dodgers at Twins. Red Sox going to Colorado, and then the A's or the Angels. You can bet against them because they're taking on the Orioles. All right, let's go into NASCAR. J Dawg's lock of the week. Hit us with it.
Ty Reddick, top 3 finish. It's a short course. And you know what? I think he's going to come up big. My parlay, by the way, Siege.
Yep.
My parlay is I've got 2 players. Juan Soto on Saturday, home run, 3 RBI, and a double. Sunday, Vladdy Jr., 2 home runs, a double, and 4 RBI.
All right, those are J Dawg's 2 parlays. We're going to do them separately.
Yep.
So you can do Juan Soto Saturday and your Vladdy Jr. Sunday.
Who's your Vladdy?
And then Ty Riddick, by the way, plus
Ty Reddick. Yep.
Ty Reddick plus 235 for a top 3 finish this weekend. Pretty good. He's 3rd on the list. SVG is the favorite, obviously.
Yep.
It's a road course.
It is.
So
But I think Ty,
no expectation or no excitement there. You kind of saw that one coming. It is 4:00 this Sunday. You can catch it on HBO and Prime Video, NASCAR coverage.
HBO.
Yeah, HBO Max.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah.
And then
It's just Max.
UFC Freedom 250 wrapped up. Justin Gaethje, the underdog, won the main event in a TKO fight that was absolutely amazing. If you're a UFC fan and you didn't watch it, you missed out. Go back and catch it. You can still catch it on Paramount. Moving forward, a couple of UFC events that you're going to want to watch out for. Conor McGregor's taking on Max Holloway July 11th. Sadly, both J Dawg and I will be attending a wedding that day, so I will not be able to catch the fight.
Sadly.
But the wedding is more important. So I'm excited for that. But Conor McGregor coming back, and he already has announced he's going to be doing 2 fights returning. So big UFC news there.
So when's Roman Reigns going to strangle him?
I
That's what I'm hoping
I would
for.
love to see him in UFC. If we've had so many WWE wrestlers come do crossovers, I would love to see Roman Reigns. So, but that does it. We're out of time. Thank you for joining us, Betheads. Catch us on social media, Instagram, on X. You can find us on YouTube.
Bet this with THIS capitalized.
Bet this pod on Insta.
Yep.
And don't forget, if you're going to bet
this.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Bet This is for entertainment purposes only. Always gamble responsibly and never wager more than you can afford to lose. Our advice is not a guarantee of success. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncpgambling.org for resources.